All right, it looks like it's right at 11, so we'll go ahead and get started, and other people could just keep jumping on as we go, and we shouldn't get too far ahead before they can catch up. So thank you, everybody. I'm excited to go over some of my favorite pantry swaps with you today. You know, a few years ago, I really realized that, changing just one small thing every single day could do huge improvements for our health, could really just, tip the scale and trying to achieve what we were trying to accomplish. So today we're going to go over how changing just one food ingredient every day could really tip the scale in reaching your health and wellness goals. Okay. So the common belief is that it's about calories in versus calories out. It's all about counting carbs and fats. I hear oftentimes, I counted my calories, but did you really consider like what were in your calories? So not all calories are the same, like regardless if it's, ice cream for dessert or dressing on your wedge salad, like we're going to really go over picking what would be the wiser choice. And then, if that's not the case, what is? How have we gotten so far from the truth, and what is the truth in the health and wellness field? We really started looking at the anomaly of 24 million women suffer with autoimmune disease. That's astronomical. 40% of women struggle with losing weight, and 25 struggle with chronic depression and fatigue. And so that's really when I started looking at some of our health, patterns, and what can we use to overcome these alarming statistics. So it's really time to evaluate the problem at hand. It's much more than calories in and calories out, because clearly by those numbers, it's so much more. And so I just kind of want to go over who I am real quick. Why am I here, and why am I, qualified to be teaching this to you guys? Been in the industry for almost 8 years. I've worked with health food stores across the Southwest region for years, and I've really gotten to see what was in the grocery stores and really compare, where people struggled and where, the confusion lied. I've represented many supplement nutrition companies. I have a master's degree in functional medicine and nutrition, and I'm a board certified clinical nutritionist. And so those are some of the things. That's me at my graduation in Portland, Oregon, University of the Western States is a chiropractic college, and that's my sweet mom. So who I am. I am oftentimes celebrated as the clean nutritionist, the supplement guru, clearly by my credentials in the last slide. A very chic hippie. Always want to kind of know the cool makeups and the cool new clothes, but I definitely want it to be the cleanest and, safest that I can find. I'm a magical unicorn at replacing ingredients. Like, that would definitely be my claim to fame, is taking my favorite foods and swapping out a few things, hence the webinar today, and, finding those awesome replacements. I am a boss at reading labels. That was something I definitely have learned over the years, and I'm going to go over a little bit of that today. And a clean and delicious recipe creator. So you will actually get some of those recipes today. I do have a cookbook coming out that is gorgeous, and things that you can implement in your everyday life, ingredients that we all understand. So let's get started. I'm going to show you why I've earned these titles by giving you specific steps to swap your grocery list and take back your health. So here I'm going to equip you with during this presentation why the qualities of food affect our health and why we have to make these swaps, how to select foods that improve and not hinder your health, and why we need to identify our food allergies. Why do we strategically need to find the best things for each individual person to swap? Everybody's a little different, right? So most of us have learned it's simply about cutting carbs, calories, fats, those things are important, but that is definitely not where our health lies. Most of you have been told the confusing and conflicted information. I hear it every single day, whether I am at the grocery store, whether I'm at, my yoga class, whether I'm at church, or where I'm at. I hear this confusion, these ladies going to lunch and they're talking about, what are you doing? What's the best thing out there? And, what works for you? And it is a mass confusion. It's something I definitely want to help clear up as best as I can. Most of you are looking for answers, but never find a lifestyle solution that you can live by, right? Like, we have to find something that we can live with every single day. Not something just for a month or two. So I'm positive you've never been on a health journey like this before. Some of this information is definitely going to be new to you, or it's going to be given to you in a way you've never quite considered it. So hold on tight, but you're going to get a lot of incredible facts with actionable solutions, like things that you can walk away with today. So there's nothing for sale. I just want everybody to know this is a free webinar. It is just knowledge shared, and there is a free gift at the end. So stay with me. 2 free gifts, actually. I got a little gift to give you today. It's getting close to the holiday season. So today, this is for you if you're ready to remove the confusion about, again, what we're going to take to achieve our goals. Like, what are those really important steps? And you're ready to master the grocery store swaps to determine what foods are best for you. The knowledge and the steps that I will teach you are ones that you can use immediately, like I said. So we're going to look at the root cause of our health, and we're going to really identify the real problems at hand to start this this swap accordingly. Again, everything's strategy. You know, everything in health is strategy, and the decisions that we make to really look at the root cause of what each individual person is, it's strategy. Not everybody needs to do the same thing that your neighbor does, right? So once you've implemented what you've learned today, you will have the knowledge to improve your digestive tract, your skin issues, unexpected weight gain, migraines, and even, combat the autoimmune that's on the rise right now. We definitely want to be able to manage these kind of issues that are arising. So these are some of the most prominent questions I am asked, and some of the most, common issues that I hear about. So I definitely want to address those with y'all today. So again, I wasn't always a nutritionist who studied food allergies and became a master replacing ingredients. Before this, I spent most of my adult life struggling with many of the things that I'm going to talk about today: the GI health, skin issues, anxiety. I have endometriosis, and I had to learn how to live with that and how to overcome and it not rule my life. I had no idea about the quality of foods that were out there. I did not understand hidden ingredients, and I did not understand what healthy looked like. And it was a long, long journey. So I understand when I say that I completely understand where you're at. Like, I would walk into a place and I'd ask questions, and it was like I was getting Greek. I felt in the dark. Who do I call? Who do I trust? What's right for me? What's really healthy? I mean, there's, like you said, there's blogs everywhere, and there's information everywhere. But what those mainstream secrets were not working for me. I had to find what worked for me. Like I said, my GI was a mess. My nails were brittle. My allergies were out of control. My skin was a wreck, and I was facing a war with autoimmune. And it was just something I did not want to live with. So I had 2 options. And I feel like this is where everybody here today is going to have a commonality. I had no idea what to do, and I was not getting better, but I had 2 choices. I could stay the same and keep doing what I was doing, keep staying in the yo-yos, or not doing anything at all, or I could find a solution at all cost. So again, my healing journey. I went on a food elimination journey. I started learning what foods worked for me and what did not, and it took a long time, about 2 years, which was unreal. I learned what foods I could eat and what foods I had to avoid. And at that point is when I learned how to master the grocery store, that grocery list. And then I created amazing recipes to match what I loved. I'm a foodie. I am going to eat and eat and eat and eat. And so I had to replace those. But again, like, the hardest part was I was doing it alone. Who did I call for help? I had a doctor that was 7 hours away that I could call and ask questions, but how much could he really help me? He was a naturopath and he was doing the best he could, but it's still my body, and I have to answer those questions for myself. So those are tools I had to learn. Can they give me solutions? And how do I get these harmful foods out of my life and off my grocery list? And how do I replace them? A 1-for-1 replacement for a lot of things is possible these days. Like, we are very lucky to be in the health and wellness industry right now, switching our, grocery lists and our pantry, because there's so many amazing new things if you just know how to find them. So you cannot make these changes to your health and your lifestyle unless you know why you're changing them. Like I said, I had to go back and look at my food sensitivities. I had to go back and look at my particular health concerns, what I was struggling with, and what are you trying to overcome? So let's use some strategy here. No more shooting in the dark. No more just, again, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that because it sounds good. No, let's use some logic and some strategy here. So I believe, just want to clear this up before we get really going. I believe that all of you are here for the right information, for informative health information. We're not going to do another quick fix, a fad diet, any sort of yo-yos. I don't really teach on those. I do not teach on those. And I just always want to make sure we're on the same page. So I'm sure we are. I have a positive feeling about that. So hold on and let's get started. I know you all are ready for the promised grocery swaps that I've talked about before. And we're going to get to those, lots of them. You're even going to get a PDF. But first, if I didn't give you this deep-rooted, power-packed, health-changing why knowledge, it would just be another webinar. And you would walk away with a few tips and see you later. I have you for an hour, and I'm going to get really deep, real quick. What are the answers? Where is the truth? Starting with not all calories are the same and not all food is the same. So right here is a perfect example. We have this incredible looking orange juice, carrot juice, looks like some cinnamon, maybe some cumin in the back or turmeric. And we have this soda pop on the right. If I told you they were nearly the same calorie count, would you believe me? And the answer is they are. But which one does your body get nutrients from? Okay? Not the one on the right. He is not helping anybody out, right? This guy over here, your liver is obsessed. Your skin's going to be glowing. You're going to have energy. Your GI is going to love you forever. Not all calories are the same and not all food is the same. Yes, they're important. Yes, calories are important. The body is going to expend the same amount of energy, whether it is breaking down a Skittle or a nut. It's going to get the same amount of energy. If those Skittles and that nut are the same amount of calories, your body's going to receive that energy, correct? Now, the important question is how much energy is left and how much damage is done when the body breaks it down. So you've done all this work to break down the Skittle or this nut or this grape or whatever the case may be. When is there nutrients left over? It's expending all of this energy and all of this time, and then it gets to the end and says, I have nothing. You left me with nothing. That's what we have to think about. So when your body spends all of this energy breaking down, it has nothing left to use. Are you giving it energy for health and for the body processes, or are you just making it do extra work? So when we look at food as only calories, it's slightly degrading to our food, okay? Because it ignores the metabolic effects, how the body uses this energy, this calorie. So the source of the calorie changes. The source of the calorie changes how you digest it and when you receive it and how you receive energy from it. So basically, the source of this calorie is what you're going to get from it. That's the important part, right? So again, that's when I say it's not about calorie. All calories are created equal. It's about nutrition in and waste out, right? Nutrition in and waste out. That's true nutrition. And that's what we're going to get into. So one more time, I'm going to run through a few of these little slides real quick. We have a cupcake on the left and a cupcake, or in this beautiful granola with berries on the right, same calories. Nuts and these bright little gummy treats right here, same calories. But which one are you getting things from? Everything on this page is 200 calories. The Coke and the apple. The gummy bears and that whole plate of broccoli. Okay? So we're just not going to worry about it anymore. When you're eating things on this left side column, you're set. You could eat as much of it as you can possibly eat, because you will get full quicker than you could possibly consume all the calories that would be worth counting. Ooh, I like this picture because this is a really positive way to look at counting calories if that is something you really want to do. Right here we have a beautiful salmon with some veggies and carrots and white pasta, wheat pasta right here. And this one they switched one difference. And it looks like right here it is the zucchini noodles. Okay, that's a positive way. Right here on the salad, they literally just took away a few pieces of the meat. That's a more positive direction. Okay. So my food journey, over a 2-year period, like I said, I learned what my health weaknesses were. I learned what my food sensitivities were. I learned that I could not have a lot of different foods. Corn and dairy, processed carbs like pastas and bread, I had to keep it a very minimum. Anything with artificial sugars, sweeteners, preservatives, MSGs would destroy me. I would be in the bathroom, I would bloat up, my endometriosis would be inflamed. And I had to literally learn what all of the words were that I were looking for on the back of a bottle to overcome these food allergies. Like, now that I know, what do I do? Like, oh my gosh, like, talk about a ton of information. So I started looking at the root cause. Then I started Googling everything. I said, what is autoimmune disease really? What are my migraines? Is it the toxic load? Is it hormones? IBS, is your GI tract? Why is it breaking down? Why are these things happening? And what does the body need to correct it, right? Those are some of the questions we had to think about. But I really want to get into something right now that we don't talk about. We wonder why all of these illnesses are on a rise. Acne, autoimmune, lupus, rheumatoid, migraines, Crohn's. We were seeing things that we've never seen before at a rapid rate, anxiety and depression. And we ask ourselves why? Like, where is this coming from? And we're saturated, you guys. And this is one of those aha moments. I remember 10 years ago, I said in a presentation, and this was some of the stuff this amazing naturopath doctor shared with us. And he said, we are absolutely saturated and our bodies cannot be well because of it. We have to remove the chemicals, okay? Dirty water bottle. You can pour all the clean water you want into it. If you do not get the dirty water out, what are we actually accomplishing? So 4.6 million people die every year from air pollution. Here, on this beautiful planet. Childhood asthma increases 40% in the last 20 years. 3 million Americans have been exposed to illegal levels of drinking water with arsenic and radioactive chemicals. Like 3 million Americans. That's not okay, you guys. That's a border. That's a barrier. Those are things that are destroying us. I needed to proofread that. Sorry, guys. 50 billion pounds of chemicals are dumped on our food every single year. 50 billion pounds. How do we overcome that? Why and how is that hurting us? So we start looking at the causes. Like, these things are happening. What is the effect, right? So 32 million Americans have food allergies. All of a sudden, allergies that we've never seen before. Gluten, dairy, peanuts. You name it, corn. I've seen citrus fruits. You name it, and people are allergic to it these days. 40% of people are allergic to more than one food. You saw my list. It wasn't pretty. More than 170 foods have been reported to cause allergic reactions. 20% of people worldwide suffer from food intolerances. So this is a serious thing. These are when we have to go back and look, what is on our foods? What are we doing to our foods? What are we putting in our water? What are we putting in our air? Why are we having these problems? Illnesses. Food preservatives, this is a study. Food additives, preservatives, pesticides, and other chemicals have been found to have profound influences on autoimmune diseases, migraines, obesity, because of the inflammation and the toxic load. So they are now calling some of these chemicals obesogenic chemicals because they're storing in your fat cells, and then you can't figure out why you can't lose weight. We have to get them out of our body. That's how we lose weight. The hormones go crazy. Your body's reacting. It's saying, what is in my body is what is in here. I don't recognize this. It's not supposed to be here, right? These chemicals are stealing our health, our energy, and our vibrancy. And that's why I created the Pantry Makeover. I want these chemicals out of our life. Okay? Here we go. One more slide on this, and then we're going to move forward. Livestock is being given growth hormones, right? What are those growth hormones causing? A risk of breast, prostate, and other cancers. Studies. USDA organic studies across the board. And this one did me in. 1940 to 1991, let's talk about what happened in the 40s and the 50s. We stopped using manure and we started using pesticides. Our trace minerals in our soil dropped 76% in 50 years. Fruits and vegetables were 21 to 30% lower every time they were tested. Varieties and varieties of them. And that's when our U.S. Congress made a statement that mineral deficient plants, our U.S. Congress made a statement, mineral deficient plants lead to mineral deficient people that lead to mineral deficient diseases that we hear about today, right? Osteoporosis, osteopenia, all the things that we hear about today. So what's the solution? Here we go. Let's get into the swaps. Favorite part. I can give you a list of the 500 food additives to avoid. 50 plus food coloring labels and names, heck, even the 25,000 pesticides on the planet that are put on your foods. And mind you, only 500 of those have ever been tested. Yes, 25,000 of them are the option, 500 have been tested, and we get 50 billion pounds of them a year. So how do I make this particular swap easy without giving you lists on lists on lists? We're going to go organic as much as we can. Now hold tight. Yes, organic grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chicken. I'm giving you a PDF on all of this kind of stuff, so don't feel like you have to write down. Just pay attention and really absorb. You know, fruits and vegetables, looking at where our food is, you know, raised, how it's raised, where it's coming from. We are the food, we are what we eat, very much the case. So what is our food eating? We are what our food eats too, right? If the cow's eating something, it digests it, it absorbs it, it assimilates it, and then we eat the cow. And then we digest it, we absorb it, and we assimilate those same chemicals. So swapping for healthier brands automatically removes these chemicals, these pesticides, the preservatives, the high fructose corn syrup, food colorings, MSG. They cannot be in it, right? So here are some of my favorite swaps, okay? You can almost get anything these days organic. So snack mix, gummy bears. These are gummy bears are made with beetroot juice. And you can't taste the beets. But that's where the food coloring comes from, right? Like you can get organic ranch down here. I'm going to give you an example of my old ranch and my new ranch and the chemicals that were in it. Mine will be blown. You know, our pasture-raised eggs. Why? Why pasture-raised over cage-free? What is that difference? Have y'all ever looked at the yolk of two different eggs? And one's like vibrant and yellow and the other one's like dull. And it's because of the food that they eat. Okay, so here's some of my favorites. These are easy ones. Simply Organic from Kroger and Target, they make great lines that are affordable. And they're not any more expensive than some of the other stuff out there. But when that has that label on it, it has to remove all the chemicals. It cannot have it, okay? I'm going to run through this real quick. I feel like this is something just to keep in mind. Obviously, fresh produce is great when it's in season because the nutrient content is higher and the price is better. I want to debunk a few little myths real quick. I get the question asked a lot. Is frozen good? Yes. Frozen is like pushing pause on nature's nutrient count. So they pick it at ripeness, they flash freeze it, and then they ship it to you. And if it's a good company that's organic, and a lot of them that are even non-GMO, but all of them that are organic, they don't use anything, any sprays that would cause the color to last longer, because of the process that they use to flash freeze it. So you don't have to worry about it. It's actually very, very efficient, and it keeps your nutrient content higher. They actually did a lot of studies on leaving them the frozen in the canned or fresh, and after 5 to 7 days, the fresh actually had less nutrients. So that's why you say, pick your stuff, eat it within the week, and then if you can't, buy frozen. Canned goods are always great too. I want you to write this down, BPA free. BPA is a chemical that's in cans, it's in our water bottles, it's in our plastic containers, and is absolutely devastating to our hormones. And for men, it's devastating for their performance levels. I'll just leave it at that. So we want it out. So that's something to look for. So here's some guides. These are the guides that y'all are going to get today at the end of the webinar. And I will get to go over some of this information at the end, but I want you to know you're getting a guide to all of this. When we talked about like over here picking the types of meat or the types of vegetables, that will all come to you in your email at the end. So this is part of the little pantry guide that I've created. So massive shifts. Again, there's that old analogy. You cannot pour clean water into a dirty cup and expect clean water. And so that's what I said at the beginning when we talked about all of those chemicals and what they're doing to our bodies and how we have to remove those. This is, hey, we have a bunch of people just jumping on. I'm glad to have you guys. We've just gone over a lot of the chemicals and a lot of the preservatives that are in our foods, and we're into these swaps. So welcome. So this is definitely something that's important. We can pour as much good nutrients in our body, but we're not going to make any progress. So we have to choose health or sickness in every bite, right? So swap number 2. When I was struggling with endometriosis, acne, anxiety, allergies, just sinus infections, you guys were always my weakness. And my nutritionist gave me some of the best advice of my entire life. Like, this did it for me. You ready? I said it. You got to get off the dairy train, right? And if he wasn't right, it absolutely changed my life. Like, I can say this with conviction. It absolutely turned my health right side up. And I'll never be able to thank him enough for it. Now, don't get me wrong. If I go out with my girls on Friday night and we order a cheese tray, I'm going to eat some brie, right? I just got it out of my house. I got it out of things that I didn't need to have it in every day. Well, I mean, if there's a better option, it's got to go. And you'll feel so much better. So let's talk about some of my favorite swaps. And then I'm going to talk about just a little bit of facts on this. You know, I definitely want you to see the research and the studies as well. My favorite swap that I've ever found, second favorite swap that I have ever found, is my coffee creamer. So again, we're gonna really look at why we're doing these pantry swaps. Check this out. This is what's in traditional coffee creamers. Like, what is that stuff? Like, does anybody know what that means? And does anybody want that in their body? Like, that does not say coconuts and almonds. That does not say French real vanilla, Madagascar vanilla. There's nothing in there that we need, right? But yet we put it in our coffee every single morning. And the reason why I pick coffee creamers is, one, I'm going to drink my coffee every single morning. And I've made strides to find really good coffee. And so I'm going to find strides to find really good creamer, because it's something I'm going to use every single day, right? Things that you use every single day should be the highest quality of things that you have in your kitchen. And then you can taper off from there. Things that you use twice a year, I get it. Things you use every day, we got to find the best of the best, right? Because that's what our body deserves. So that's got to go, all right? Here's a swap. Ta-da! These two are delicious. They're fantastic. You will thank me for it later. Khalifa Farms just came out with a whole new line of coffee creamers, the almond milk coffee creamers. They have coconut coffee creamers. They have vanilla and hazelnut and caramel, and they're all real. It's all real ingredients, you guys. So Delicious is one of my favorite coconut yogurt companies, and you guys will be obsessed with their vanilla coconut yogurt. And this is their coffee creamer. And again, they just came out with a remarkable line. They use real cane sugar if there's any sugar in it at all, so you don't have to really worry about it. And so these are the things, we just made an amazing jump in the organic section, really looking at our labels and picking new foods. We're going to do it in our coffee creamer too. Another one. I don't know about you, but I love cheese dip. I mean, who doesn't, right? Like, you could bathe in the stuff, okay? And I couldn't have dairy or corn for years. And I still don't eat a lot of it anymore, even though I'm better. This is something I had to avoid. These were my saving graces. Like, the Siete line you can get anywhere. Like, it's amazing. The Honest Stand, you won't know the difference. I take this stuff to parties all the time, and I put it in a bowl, and I put the chips by it, and nobody has ever stopped to ask me, what is this? Other than, this is amazing. What is this? Not, what is this stuff? It's odd. I never hear anything negative. And so people are obsessed with it, and you will be too. So Siete, cheese dip, the Honest Stand, and those chips on the left, they are grain-free, corn-free. Siete makes an amazing line of chips. Those are the nacho ones because I love Doritos, and I had to find a replacement, and that's the best thing I've ever found. So they make all kinds of stuff. Here we go, grocery list again. Almond milks. The most common question, I'm gonna take a little sip, sorry guys, on almond milk is, how do I use them in place of milk? And so I kind of want to run by this. And again, this is in the pantry swap. Here are all the different types we have now. You know, when I started this journey, I had, I think, rice and maybe soy, and they tasted terrible, but we went with it anyway. Yes, this is recorded, and I will send every single one of you a recording. So watch it through and through for sure. Good question. So these are the options for milks. Like, again, when I got in this game a few years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years, there was nothing fun like this. Now you have, I mean, almond and coconut, and oat, and hazelnut. I mean, just macadamia. Ripple makes an amazing, right down here, this one, Ripple, incredible chocolate milk, right? You have kids that want chocolate milk, husbands who want chocolate milk. Believe me, it's this constant battle. I never thought I'd heard it so much in my life until I started doing this. These pantry swaps with families change their life. So those are just some fun things. Here's how to use them. This is definitely, like I said, the biggest question I have. These are great Googles. They are in the pantry guide, but some of my favorite ways use swaps for baking are oat milk, flax, and hemp. Pancakes, flax and oat. Soups, always coconut, hemp, cashew. They're really creamy, so they help with that soup. Like, you know, if you want to do mushroom soup or tomato soup. Coffee creamers, we obviously went over that just a minute ago. Oat, almond, coconut. Smoothies, you can use about anything you want in it. I always use coconut, almond, and pea. Those are my preference. Hazelnut, or I've never used hazelnut for smoothies. I've just used those three. I apologize. And then cereal and oatmeal, there's some options there. Almond, pea, coconut, you know, you just kind of find what you like. Buy the small ones, and give it a whirl. You know, always check the ingredients, always flip it over, make sure it doesn't have 85 grams of sugar in it, because that's not uncommon. You have to find the good ones. But savory dishes, I've learned to use cashew and oat milk. I feel like that doesn't, especially oat, it doesn't have a lot of the nutty flavors that the other ones have. And so when you use it in savory dishes, you don't know the difference. So I'm just gonna, this is a lot on the slide, but I just kind of want to briefly go over it. The first adverse effect to milk was during the times of Hippocrates, when he said, what, 2,000 years ago? Yeah, there it is. Sorry, my little screen went on. The first adverse reaction to cow's milk was in the form of skin and gastrointestinal symptoms after consumption, 2,000 years ago. I'm sorry, you guys, that's a long time to learn a lesson, right? And a long time that we've been lying to ourselves, right? That is marketing at its finest. And I'm gonna head on from that one. So it is the leading cause of allergies in children and infants. Again, sinus infections, ear infections, ADD, consuming our children's lives. What is the one thing we give them morning, noon, and night? The one thing that's hurting them, morning, noon, and night. 75% of the world's population struggles with some form of lactose intolerance, and IBS is one of the leading digestive conditions that we deal with today. So there's a correlation, right? You can't deny that. Studies and facts are studies and facts, no matter what the marketing labels want to say. Let me get off my soapbox. Just like sugar, dairy is more addictive than most drugs. So they've actually done studies on this. The root cause of most skin issues, like eczema and acne, and the root cause of most sinus allergies and mucus buildup is dairy. So these, I'll just stop here. Anxiety, depression, you name it. They've done studies on it. And so that's where I say, when he gave me the most beneficial advice of my life, it's what we just went over. So take it. and enjoy it. Now that we have some amazing swaps. All right, let's keep going. Swap number 3. Let's talk condiments. Now, I'm one of those who overloads my food with everything. Like if I have to put buffalo sauce on it, I like drench it. You know, I want mayonnaise, I want it all over the place. I mean, ketchup, everything. So I like bathe my food in these delicious marinades. Okay, that's something I love. Like you want a little salad dressing with your, you know, little lettuce with your salad dressing, I suppose. So till one day, like literally it was a nightmare, you guys. I was told I couldn't have these because at that time we didn't have the cool ones that we have today. And because it had so much sugar, artificial ingredients, preservatives, food colorings, and my gosh, did I mention sugar? Packed with sugar. And so that's when I became a master at reading labels. Now at that time I had to learn how to kind of make new stuff on my own or just not get to use it. Now our grocery stores are being inundated with so many incredible new products. I got to keep my ranch because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a Southern girl and we put ranch on everything, right? Not giving it up. This, I told you, I'm gonna get real. This is what was in my old ranch. This is what's in my new ranch. Like, what is all that garbage? Like we talked about earlier, the beginning of the presentation, how these chemicals are in everything. They're on our foods. They're hurting us. You saw the negative health effects of how these chemicals are hurting us, and then we're dumping it on our food. And it drives me crazy because I get so excited. I see people changing their diets and they're getting these, you know, really clean foods, and they're changing their meals, and they're, you know, eating their healthy chickens and their turkeys and their healthy broccoli, and then they dump a marinade on it that ruins everything. I mean, literally you've taken all of your strides and then you just said, never mind. That's what we have to change. And that's something I wanted to bring to light today. I really want you to look at the back of what's in your cupboards, what's in your pantries, what's in your refrigerator. Next time you go to the grocery store, I want you to stop at the organic section and I want you to pick up one of theirs compared to conventional. And I really want you to compare it. Okay. This is, you know, made of amazing. I mean, I think down here at the bottom, we have like some carrot puree at the very end and like a dried onion. Okay. Here, everything is a food. When you can read the label and everything is a food, you know you're in the right place, right? There's a swap. These are some of my favorite companies. Primal Kitchen, Woodstock, Tresemmés. They've done amazing jobs. You know, even the Simply Organic line at Kroger, they've done amazing jobs. Ketchup. Again, we're dumping marinades on everything. I want ketchup all over my French fries if I'm going to eat French fries, okay? And, or whatever it is that you want to put ketchup on. 4 to 6 grams of sugar of high fructose corn syrup in 1 tablespoon. Now, who eats just 1 tablespoon of anything, right? Like, dressing. And so that was something I had to look at. Like, you need to flip over that bottle. And if it has 9 grams of high fructose corn syrup in it, I need you to get rid of it. Period. Ever. 1 gram of high fructose corn syrup. Look for cane sugar. Okay. If it's 4 grams of cane sugar, that's going to be so much better for you than high fructose corn syrup. So that's a swap. Barbecue sauce. 14 grams in a tablespoon is the conventional. Buffalo sauce, 9 grams of sugar. You are doing incredible things. You're making amazing health strides. And then you put barbecue sauce on it and it ruins it. Like, and I want barbecue sauce. So again, right there, we're going to do a swap and we're going to keep our barbecue sauce because I am a master at replacing ingredients and I'm not giving up my ketchup, my barbecue sauce. So, you know, look for the whey, look for the dairy, look for the gluten, the preservatives. You know, I saw you that whole list. Check those out, you know. The reason why, yeah, so basically I just said that. The reason why I picked this topic is I really want you to think about that. And I want you to be aware. It's something that I've never thought about before until, you know, I had lived it. I lived it with you. And I said, I have to tell people, like, we have to look what's in our salad dressings. Are there omegas and fats and herbs and nutrients or nothing that's serving you? All right. So top number 4. I get this question a lot, you know, wheat, whole wheat, what's better? Carbs, are they good? Are they bad? You know, I'm not going to get into a ton of that, but what wheat does cause, and we know this to be true, bloating, digestive issues, leaky gut. Any of y'all struggle with this? Blood sugar balance, acne, gluten sensitivities, weight problems. Of course, just this, and then just the fear of carbs that we all live and breathe with now, that we have to surrender. We have to give that up. So regardless of your particular reasons, let's talk about why these are some of my favorite swaps. Here we go. Again, I gave up wheat, but I still want muffins. I still want pancakes. I still want scones. I still want these incredible foods that I grew up on. And again, it's just some swaps, you guys. We can still live a vibrant life. Here we go. Let's talk this. So right here on the right, I have wheat. Calories, again, we're just going to use it for reference. 366 grams. Across the way, we have 480 and 580. Okay, but look what's in them. Maybe the almond is almost double the wheat in calories. But again, when I said at the beginning, the calories are what's in the food, not the calorie itself. So what is your body getting from that calorie? In this situation, it's getting 21 grams of protein, not 9. That's double. I mean, that's incredible. 18 grams of protein and not even doubling it, just a little bit more. Fats are incredible. If they're healthy fats, if we're using, good coconut oil, avocado oil, MCT oil, those are powerful for the brain. I mean, they are gold for the brain. So I want us, again, another shift that we have to kind of let go of is fats are bad. There are fats out there that are bad, and there are fats out there that our body has to have, and they make us so efficient. And so 12 grams, 15 grams, you're getting something very incredible out of that almond flour. You're now getting 21 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat. And then here we go, carbs. Yeah, it says 20. Always subtract fiber from carbs, right? So we're going to subtract the 12 from the 20, and you're going to eat left with 8 carbohydrates, but you're going to get 21 grams of protein. It pretty much negates it all because your body is going to use it. It has to have some of everything, right? That's why it's, that's why we know so much about it, is our body has to have some of it. So here's a powerful swap, okay? Coconut flour. You guys, you can make coconut flour pancakes and you won't know the difference. Promise. So here's some of my swaps. Here's some of my favorite brands. Okay. Those are some pictures of things made with those particular new ingredients. I still have my pasta. I use chickpea. High protein, high fiber. If you have kids, they'll never know the difference. Where was this one over here? Oh, this is the almond flour right here. They make an amazing almond mix. This is pancakes right here. Miss Pamela's. Awesome. I feel like, I can't see that one, but I feel like that I think it's cassava flour, which is really a new up and coming option for replacements. Pretzels right here. This is, again, that Siete brand. They make awesome things. They make the chips, they make the cheese dip, and then now we're talking about their tortillas, and they're made out of cashew flour. So there's no flour in any of this wheat flour that is causing us problems. They literally grind down cashews and then make it. How incredible is that? No processing. And that's where carbs, as far as processed carbs, pastas and breads get us, is it's all the processing that's in, and we lose so much nutrients. And our bodies are not efficient at using it. So here we go. Not all foods are equal. Not all calories are the same. So I feel like that I have shown you in this presentation, and it's something that's very important. I want you to understand that. Like, health is intentional. It's about long-term change done slowly, methodically, and strategically. So making these small steps, go back and watch this webinar 10 times if you have to, and learn and do one small change every single day that you've learned about today, and you're going to look up in 3 months and so much is going to be different. But that's how healing takes place. That's how your body gets better. You can't do it all at once. You can't. So don't try. One thing at a time. That's healing. So I've shown you what personally worked for me, and the steps that I've shown you have worked for so many other amazing women that I've crossed paths with. I know that you will take this tremendous amount of knowledge and skills and direction from this webinar. Like, I have no doubt. So the one area that I struggled with when starting this new lifestyle was, learning about my food allergies, how to identify them, How do I know what worked for me? What foods do I cook? Who do I turn to for questions? What pantry staples should I replace? And how do I still eat these delicious foods and enjoy my health goals? Because I'm still going to eat amazing foods. If this is you, please let me help you. Absolutely. Like, I've become a master at this. I've been trained in this. I have personally lived this. I've worked with families for years. And Linda, do you have a non-dairy swap for cheese? Yes, some of those companies do it, and the Mykonos is a great one. Mykonos at Natural Grocers. So don't do this alone. Please let me help you. Like, if you have questions, reach out. Maybe we didn't go over some of the pantry questions you had today. Like, we just had a question about what was some of my favorite cheese. And I use a lot of, options for that. There's a lot of options for that. Or maybe you know what your food allergies are and you need some guidance, or maybe you have no idea. You have no idea until you watch this webinar that these foods could be the thing that are causing your health pains, and that food allergies are real. And we have to go on a food elimination journey to figure out which ones are for you. I mean, there's a lot of us who that was something new. It was new for me, let me tell you. So if you would like for me to personally work with you to help you implement everything, I would absolutely be excited to do so. So here's how we're going to do that. I have, like I said at the beginning of the presentation, I have some gifts for you. One, I'm going to give you some of my pantry makeover shopping guides, some of my recipes, but I've set aside some time over the next week or two after this webinar is over, for the next week, to help people that are on this webinar. If you're watching it, you're attending it, you're going to get a direct link to my calendar. And it's absolutely free of charge. It's a 1-hour consultation, and we're going to go over all of the things that we've talked about. And I can help you. I want to help you overcome what you're struggling with. And I want to help you take the tools that we've learned today and really implement those. So here are a few testimonies. This is one of my dear clients, Megan. The Pantry Makeover helped me master my grocery list, learn to read labels like a pro, and provided me with the confidence to select high-quality, chemical-free foods for my family. I struggled with acne, bloating, always feeling exhausted. I had no idea that changing even one ingredient for every meal can make such a difference in my life. The program was easy to follow, and now I have energy, confidence, and the tools to continue making healthy changes for me and my family. And that was power right there. She now has the confidence and the tools to continue making these changes for her family. No more confusion in the grocery store. One more, Kimberly. Before the Pantry Makeover, I struggled daily with acid reflux, GI discomfort, asthma. I attempted the elimination diet many times before and I failed. But with the help of the Pantry Makeover, the program, I was successful. I identified my triggers. I learned how to remove them from my diet. And I learned now how to live every day free of these health issues that control my life. It's power, you guys. When you learn what's for you and you learn how to swap it, you just hold on tight. Nothing but great things can happen. So during this call, these are the things that we're going to go over. We're going to discover what's preventing you from achieving your goals. I want you to come to the table with the things that you struggle with. Have them written down, have them ready. Like, let's talk these through. I want to help create a plan with these issues. We're going to talk about your 5 to 10 top grocery swaps. Like, maybe we didn't go over it today, or you have some questions about what's for you. I want to go over this with you. And then you can use all of this knowledge and all the guidance to recreate a lifestyle that works for you, that you can live by. So like I said, spaces are limited. We have almost 500 people that were registered for this webinar, and only the ones that are, not everybody's going to get a spot, but I definitely want to try to get to as many people over the next week as I can. So these conference calls are completely free. It's a free consultation. So act fast. My booking link will be in the chat and in your email immediately after the webinar. So a disclaimer, I'm not your doctor, not giving medical advice. I have to put this in here. Always consult with your health care practitioner as well. So thank you for attending. I look forward to other classes. I'm going to continue to do these classes, so you guys stay on the email list, check it out, get on the Facebook group, and we are going to continue to do pantry swaps in the future as well. But do book your discovery call with me. I definitely want to talk to each and every one of you and go over some of the things that we went over today and what questions you might have moving forward. So Does anybody have any questions? I don't know how to cancel. Trying to get there, you guys. I apologize. All right, lady. Anybody have any questions? I wonder how. There's one. You have a non-dairy swap for cheese. Oh, great webinar. Thank you, Linda. You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anything else, everybody? Anybody? Yes, again, it will be recorded. Y'all are absolutely welcome to jump back on. Yes, another question. That's a great question. Yeah, blending a lot of those options that I gave you for the wheat, like to give off the wheat, the coconut, and the almond, and tapioca and things like that. What are your thoughts on a plant-based meals, etc.? What about Daya for a dairy swap? Definitely check out, I'm going to answer both those questions. Definitely check out the ingredients in Daya. There's certain things that they make that are great and some that aren't. They use a lot of soy and some other things. So definitely flip over the ingredient list. I don't personally think they taste the best. That's just a personal thing. Everybody has, I hear people that love it. I use Follow Your Heart a lot. Again, always check the labels. Earth Balance makes a great product. And there's a new one called, and I wish I could say it, and I can see it, and it's in a box, and it's a cheese wheel, and it's probably absolutely one of my favorites, and it's like Mykonos, or it's Mykois, something like that. So check that out. I'm sorry, I should have put that one in here. My thought on plant-based meals. I am actually a vegetarian. I was vegan for years, and I am a vegetarian. I support them 100%. I sometimes use eggs. Again, I didn't for years because of my endometriosis, but I did come back around and started using them as I got better. And I'm all about it. If it works for you, it's not for everybody. I think everybody does need to come down on the amount of meat that we eat. We consume entirely too much. You don't need that much. A few times a week, you're good to go. Get a good, nice salmon, some halibut, always Alaskan, never Atlantic, always Pacific and Alaskan fish, things like that. So do you have any specific questions, Linda, on that? Of course. If you have any questions, I put my Acuity schedule call, like book a call and we'll talk about it. Just the one-on-one. I can tell you some of my favorite things and what I've used to replace and overcome and some of my favorite recipes. So. And again, the call is free, everybody. Please, please know that. All right. Anything else? Wonderful. Well, I am so glad everybody jumped on. Thank you so much for attending. Again, if you have questions, send them over. Can't wait to visit with you. Talk to y'all soon.